hard edge design is, as the word would imply, a lot not like the softness that's occurred when we did wet in wet. When we had wet in wet, we had all kinds of soft things going on, such as this. A lot of fun blending of one color into another. Hard edge is mostly like this, where you have colors that are next to one another, that relate to one another, but there's a very distinct edge between one and the other. Once you have your design down, then, and let's say, because we're thinking hard edge, let's say we're talking about perhaps something geometrical. Let's say we have some very distinct lines that we want to establish in our design. And I'll do these in marker here that isn't going to bleed. Now let's say we want to have this water or this color only go in one area. What we can do then is we can simply paint that color or paint that shape with water, and then flood that color in. And it's only going to go to wherever it is that I put the water to start with. It's not going to bleed out anywhere else. Now if you want these colors to be intense like this, putting the water down first, allowing you to just come in with your color and let it flood in, works really well. And the color gets nice and flat and even. If you try to go in with your color all by itself, say we do another one over here, and I don't have it down here. I don't have the water down. You can paint it in. You don't have to flood it in first. But as you're painting, you'll see that the color doesn't get as nice and even as it did when you put your water down first. It tends to be a little less even as far as the intensity of the color. So you can do it, and you can use the India ink to establish your lines ahead of time like this. You can do it or not do it. You can go back in and flood some more color in here. But I just think that when you flood in the water first, you get some really nice effects, and especially nice and even. Another thing you can do once you have this hard edge design is to flood the color in with water so that it only goes into one place. Why don't we do a triad? So what color would you need here? Well, we need one of the other primary colors. How about yellow? into the yellow, and it will just flow wherever it needs to flow. Now let's try the yellow without putting the color in first, or without putting the water in first. And again, we'll see where we don't get quite the evenness of the color here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the water first. And with the blue, even though this is a hard-edged design, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to let this just kind of find its way into the shape. Just going to put the color down and let the water sort of decide where it wants to be. Maybe I might have picked up some purple there by accident. It's no matter. I'm going to let that kind of find its own way there, which I think is very interesting as well. We'll do this in here. And flood some color in. Flood some color in. Maybe we'll let this dry like this and then come back in with some other color or redesign it in some way so that we have some other interesting things going on. But that's your hard edge design.